J.C. Penney, past, present, future. We will be exploring J.C. Penney Company, the Golden Rule Store, James Cash Penney, the founder, two CEOs, the concerns, opportunities, and recommendations for this company. James Cash Penney was born in Hamilton, Missouri in 1875. His father was a farmer and part-time Baptist preacher. His father instilled the Golden Rule into his children: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This became Penney's life motto. James moved his family, his wife and children, to Wyoming on the advice of his doctor in 1897, where he first failed as a butcher before he began work at the Golden Rule Store in 1899. As founder of J.C. Penney's company, he was able to steer this company to become one of America's most beloved department stores. Penney died at age 95 and was said to be the inspiration to many people, notably Sam Walton, who hung a copy of The Penney Idea on his wall in his office. Penney's funeral was said to look like a national day of mourning. It was packed with government officials, business leaders, newspapermen, and Penney customers. The Golden Rule Store was opened in 1889 in Longmont, Colorado. The two founders was Thomas M. Calhoun and Guy William Johnson. Penney became partner and with just a stake of $2,000. But because of a dispute between Thomas and Guy, they sold their stake to James in 1907. The J.C. Penney Company, or the Golden Rule Store, was incorporated as the J.C. Penney Company in 1913 with 344 stores. By 1929, they had opened their 100th store. The founding principle was the Golden Rule. Mr. Penney would run his company using the Golden Rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. By 1913, Mr. Penney had set down 7 of his ideas for running his store and handed them to his associates. The first one: to serve the public as nearly as we can to its complete satisfaction. Number 2: to expect for the service we render a fair remuneration and not all the profit the traffic will bear. Number 3: to do all in our power to pack the customer's dollar full of value, quality, and satisfaction. Number 4: to continue to train ourselves and our associates so that the service we will be more and more intelligently performed. Number 5: to improve constantly the human factor in our business. Number 6: to reward men and women in our organization through participation in what the business produces. And number 7: to test our every policy, method, and act in this wise: does it square with what is right and just? Our first CEO we'll be looking at is Mike Ullman III. He was more notably a CEO at Macy's between 1992 and 1995, where he was able to steer Macy's away from bankruptcy. Mike Ullman was a CEO at J.C. Penney Company on 2 separate occasions, between 2004 and 2011, and again in 2012, and between 2012 and 2015. During his first tenure as the CEO of J.C. Penney's, Mike Ullman was known for his heavy discounting and couponing and the high frequency of sales events. Both of these combined resulted in falling revenues. This led the board at JCPenney's to have a CEO change, which brings us to our next CEO, Ron Johnson. Ron Johnson was known for turning Target around as head of merchandising and also as the senior vice president of Apple, where he implemented the Apple Store concept. He was CEO at JCPenney between 2011 and 2012, where he immediately discontinued discounting and couponing. This alienated loyal customers. He also fell back on what he knew best. He transformed departments into boutiques similar to the Apple Store. He also began fair and square pricing. Fair and square pricing consisted of, number one, cutting 40% from the previous year's non-discounted price for an everyday low price. He also gave month-long value price discounts of up to 30%. And number three, on the first and third Fridays of every month on select items, he would discount 40% in order to move things off the floor. He also changed the JCPenney logo, which most customers did not like because they did not recognize it. They had become in love with their store and a certain logo. All of these changes had brought the company close to bankruptcy within 18 months, which brought the board to bring back CEO Mike Ullman. The opportunities for JCPenney would be, number one, to leverage specialty size clothing in-store and online. The American people are becoming larger and larger sized people. So by leveraging the online presence and in-store presence of specialty clothing would help retain loyal customers and bring in additional customers as well. Revitalizing the JCPenney's home store by bringing in more upscale home store items. This would bring in customers looking to update their homes. Expanding the beauty experience by expanding Sephora, either keeping a Sephora in the stores that are still running, or by including Sephora in stores that do not already have them. By also bringing in more fine jewelry into the jewelry department, this would help to bring in more upscale customers. By expanding their online presence and mobile app presence. Everyone in this day and age is becoming more and more online savvy, shopping savvy. This bringing and expanding their online presence and mobile app presence will bring in more customers on that side. The concerns for JCPenney would be, first of all, in 1960 was the age of the shopping mall. JCPenney's was one of the anchor stores in just about every mall. But by 2015, it was said that only 1,200 shopping malls remained in the United States. 1/3 of these were either dead or dying. And this year alone, in 2020, due to the COVID-19 outbreak, retail department stores were said to be non-essential and have temporarily been closed. The concern that we have is that the brick and mortar store may be a thing of the past. Definitely in shopping malls, as they are closing right and left. But with the COVID-19 having temporarily closed stores, people are doing more and more online shopping. So brick and mortar stores are looking at a thing of the past. Recommendations would be, number one, close all underperforming stores. This would free up revenue streams. Number two, as mall leases end, these stores should be moved to freestanding locations. This would allow customers to be more comfortable visiting a store. Customers are not comfortable visiting a mall location where the mall is closing. So having a freestanding store that is alive would bring in more customers. And the e-commerce expansion. The jcp.com website and their mobile apps should be expanded. This way, the retail is expanding e-commerce departments with ever-growing acceptance of online shopping. It's imperative that retailers keep their websites up to date and improve their mobile app presence for smartphones. With everybody using smartphones nowadays, with the COVID-19 closures, people are using their smartphones and online shopping more and more. So it is imperative that the online presence for JCPenney be expanded, updated, and kept up to date. Thank you.